You think you gonna get what I already got? Been a couple days. Comes some radio silence. I'm concerned a little bit. Coach Prime, what's up? What we doing? No commits. Like you were popping them off one a day. I was ready. I was kind of on guard. We're good. Back in the mix here. Back in the mix. Had playoffs yesterday. We'll talk about that a little bit. 6'2", wide receiver, AAC Freshman of the Year. Got to talk about it. Come on, baby. Smash the like button. Let's go. First of all, Christmas week. Merry Christmas. 3 days away. I mean, this month is just, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we just had National Signing Day. That was December 4th. Rolling into Christmas week. Rolling into game week. I mean, and you start off with a commit. I know it's Sunday. Technically, it starts next. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to see you today. Okay? Good to see you. Smash the like button, subscribe. Wide receiver, Joseph Williams. You see the graphic down there below. At Tulsa, won AAC Freshman of the Year, had 588 yards receiving, 30 catches, over 19 yards a carry, I think 5 tutties. Was committed to Utah. Then ultimately commits to the Colorado Buffs. Wheels are spinning. Wheels are turning. Does this mean KC, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, is not a take anymore? Right? Because, again, goes to Utah. Maybe they give a phone call, say, hey, listen, we're making some moves, making some changes. We want to press back on our initial offer. Because he was talking with Colorado, had some visits, had some conversations, and ultimately committed to Utah. So then you're thinking, okay, well, maybe they've decided to go a different direction. We never really know what makes these kids tick and what the thought process is, but I try to read the tea leaves and give you my thoughts and opinions about it. Again, we never really know what's going on, but from the outside looking in, that's how it could appear. KC's making his rounds, doing his visits as he should. And again, maybe there's like, look, we're tired of waiting. Tired of making those moves. So as you see there, 6'2", 195, true freshman last year. 3 years of eligibility. Gotta love this pickup. 30 receptions, almost 600 yards, 5 touchdowns, averaging 20 a clip. Imagine what he can do in a more high tempo offense with more pristine quarterback play. Whether it be Salter or Juju, I think it's going to be an upgrade from what he was working with at Tulsa, regardless. Now, in the portal or in the transfer portal, he was rated the 149th plus best player in the portal. Just kind of, again, give you an idea. Was an 84.90 as a recruit. Okay, a 3-star. He's still technically a 3-star, but he's a 90.26. I mean, it's got to be like, I think it's 90.5 makes him, or 91 makes him a 4. I think. Let me see. What's the threshold? Maybe it's 91. It's got to be 91. Yeah, 91. So, I mean, he's point whatever away from being what they now consider a 4-star. And again, I know people who care. Just to give you an idea of the production of how these recruiting sites, how they viewed him at one time and how they're viewing him now. Just kind of giving you an idea. Like, this is a big-time pickup in the transfer portal for this wide receiving core. So, Great on the Buffs there to add another one to this class. I believe it's now their 8th or 9th commit thus far. It is their 9th commit thus far, ranking them now still 29th in the overall transfer portal. Again, 16 leaving, bringing 9 in. Now, there's also something to look at, too. The average player rating that has transferred out of the 16 is 68.19. Again, that's just the quality value player that has left. Not too many, big contributors is kind of what that tells me there. I know a few have left, but the overall average hasn't been insurmountable. The average coming in is 73. Again, they also added a 3-star punter 2 days ago. So technically there was one. I didn't make a video on a punter being committed just without it. I was thinking maybe some more would be packaged in with a punter when it did happen. Now, I do want to talk about KC a little bit because could this commitment push him away being 6 foot? We kind of see him making his rounds. Right now, On 3 has him, and you can see the percentages there. You got to take these things with a grain of salt, but it kind of gives you an idea and a feeling of what's happening. 52 to Alabama and 48.5 to Colorado. So that is something to kind of keep in mind and look at. And also, too, I've been saying this, for quite some time. All the transfer portal closes in 5 days, 6 days on the 28th. I have learned that whatever playoff team, when they lose or get out of the playoffs, that team has a week. Those kids have a week from the time they lose to go into the transfer portal. So it's not really over the 28th, if that makes sense, because we've got the next round of playoffs happening December 31st and January 1st, which will lose a whole new set of teams to the playoffs. We obviously lost 4 over the last 2 days in Indiana, Clemson, Tennessee, and SMU. So now a whole new bunch of teams have been entered into the mix. And so that'll be something to kind of keep an eye on over the next few days. Again, I would imagine that those players have until next Saturday, which is that the 28th? It is the 28th. So their week essentially ends on the same day anyway. So I would keep your eyes and ears peeled for some people to pop here over the next couple of days. Now that they're out of the playoffs, could open up. Clemson's a big one. Clemson's one to keep an eye on. Tennessee is another one after a beating they took from Ohio State. They've recruited very well, spent a lot of money in other places. Could we see some big time factors from that team depart? So it's going to be a wild next couple of days, even through Christmas. The committing, the recruiting process does not stop even through the holidays, and we'll be rocking and rolling here, hanging out, having a good time. So I got the week off from work. So I'll be ready to go if anything is to drop. And if that is to happen, have your bell turned on, smash the like button, all the good things. Let me know your thoughts down below on the first round of the playoffs. People were complaining about it. Wasn't as electric and as explosive as it should be. We got to stop. We get extra football, okay? And yes, maybe the first year it wasn't perfect, but also, too, it's the first round of playoffs. The home team and favorite team should win. That's how it should go. Now, as dominant as most of these games were, maybe not. Maybe not. And I think the seeding was more of an issue than the teams that made it. I think every team that was in there was fine. I think the way they seeded things around was a little weird. I think we would have better games round one if they seeded it better. But I think it'll work itself out. It'll figure itself out. Let's not get too complained about it. It's way too early to make any egregious suggestions on this. Let's not have an overreaction. I enjoyed a fun weekend of football. Again, not all of them knocked our socks off. I think we're going to be in for a real treat, though, come the 31st and the 1st of January, which is, it seems far, but it's right around the dang corner. So be sure to keep your eyes and ears peeled. Again, the next 2 weeks are still going to be mayhem. Mayhem with the transfer portal because it's going to be extended. So we'll be keeping you guys all up to date and on top of it. Again, keep your bell turned on, smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts on this pickup for the wide receiver, and I want to hear your thoughts on the playoffs and how it unfolded its first week. And it is game week, so we'll be talking about this game coming up against BYU on Saturday. Smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace and love, baby.